Hello everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video, really talking about some basic combos that Qiyana is capable of doing. Now, these combos, most people who played Qiyana a while probably already know them. This is mostly for beginners or people who haven't played Qiyana before. So before I get into actual combos, I want to talk about Qiyana's animation cancels. They're not as prevalent as someone like Ribbon's, where Ribbon's auto cancels are pretty easy to do. Or not pretty easy to do, but they're pretty substantial in increasing your damage. Qiyana's animation cancels are good because they decrease the amount of time of your combos. So they decrease the amount of time that your combos take to deliver the damage to your target, which is really good, especially late game where you have seconds, like you have to delete someone in a matter of seconds. It's very important that you know these combos, you know, down, all of them. So the first animation cancel I can think of is most people probably already know this, is you can animation cancel your W by Eing. So if I WE like that, it cancels the animation of my W and it gives me the element quicker. Now you can also Q while doing this animation cancel. So if I WEQ, there you go. Now they're targeted. Hold on, let me quit this collab real quick. Boom. Okay, now another animation cancel to do with Qiyana is her autos. Her autos typically have a pretty big windup, so it takes a pretty big motion to auto with Qiyana. But you can cancel this animation by queuing. Now I'm gonna try to do this. I have 240 ping, so it's a little bit harder for me to do. But I will try to do it. So you wanna typically auto or queue immediately after autoing. So auto queue like that. Now the lower ping you have, you can probably do this way better than I am right now, but it's definitely possible. You can also animation cancel your autos with your E. This is less useful, but it's more reliant. I don't really see a position or a situation where you really need auto cancel with your E, but it's possible. Now your ultimate also works really well with your E. You can alt E to sort of reduce the time of your wind up, and you can also position the E ultimate using your E. Another thing is you can also flash alt, kind of like how Lee Sin flash alts. So if you use your typical ultimate, it's a pretty big wind up, and some people can usually flash out of it if they're good. But if you flash ultimate like this, like a normal flash ultimate, whoops, oh, my bad. If you normal flash ultimate like that, there's still a pretty big gap in the time that it takes for your ultimate to come out after flashing. So if I flash alt, you can see a small wind up. What you want to do is you want to alt flash, so it's faster and it's more immediate. And this will definitely catch people off guard, and it will help, increase your damage and increase the reliability of landing your ultimate. Now let's get on to the combos. Qiyana's basic combo is pretty simple. It's normal EQ, whoops, let me try that again. It's normal EQ, W, Q, like that. It's a pretty basic combo. You don't weave any autos in between your W's and your Q's. It's just normally EQ, W, Q. This does the least amount of damage from all your combos, but at the same time, it's your quickest combo. So it's good for when you're ahead, and if you can assassinate people really quickly, because usually when you're ahead, you just deal buttloads of damage. Now, if you want to start weaving autos in, that's when animation canceling becomes more, important. So you want to E auto Q, W auto Q. That was really slow, but you get the general gist of it. You always want to grab your whatever element you want to start off with. E auto Q, W auto Q. Now what this allows you to do is, if you have Dustblade, it allows you to proc Dustblade, which is really nice because Dustblade adds a bonus of 150 damage, right? But what you lose in this combo is your automatic tracking E. So instead of just doing that, what you can do is you can just do your EQ, W, auto Q, like that. So you still proc your Dust Blade, you still proc your, you still get an auto in, but you just don't get your first auto off your first element, which is totally fine because what most people don't know is your E applies your passive stack. So I have water element and out, and there's no passive stack on this target. If I E, without autoing, it still applies the passive damage, and that's added on top of my E damage. So just doing your typical EQ, still the only thing you're losing out on damage-wise is just a single auto, which is fine. Now, another combo which I like to use, mostly in lane, requires grass element starting off. Grass is unique because it's, you know, it's a 3.5 second invisibility, which is really nice. You gain 20% movement speed while inside, which is super helpful for repositioning. Another thing that grass does is it resets your Dustblade passive, which is nice because it adds extra damage in your autos. So let's say there's a target right here. If I E auto attack Q, then wait for my Dustblade passive to come up, W auto Q, like that. So it does total damage about 3,000, does more damage, and that's a pretty good amount of damage. Probably your most damage dealing your combo without your ultimate. Whoops. So you definitely want to get in the habit of animation canceling your Q, so you do this combo faster. E auto Q, W auto Q. I didn't get an auto in there between my first Q, so it slows it down, but you generally get the gist of it, right? And I guess that's pretty much it. You know, EQ. If you EQ, you don't proc your Dustblade practice, or you don't proc your Dustblade. You only proc it once, and that's your auto. Yeah, you got auto for it. So if I typically EQ, it's a waste of my invisibility because I still have my Dustblade passive up. So it's definitely important to to definitely auto after you E. So E auto Q, W auto Q, like that. Now, as you do this combo more and more, you can sort of, you know, reduce the amount of time it takes to do it, so you can catch people off faster late game. And that's pretty much it, yeah. Again, Qiyana is very situational. Depends mostly on where you're fighting. Some basic things you want to keep in mind is you always want to grab 2 different versions of your elements whenever you're doing a combo to increase the amount of damage you're doing from your passive. So if you Q using a water element, you want to grab either earth or grass and Q again to increase the damage. Another thing is you want to think about where you're fighting to maximize what elements you can use. So obviously the river in both sides are Qiyana's strong points because they have all the elements, and at the same time Qiyana's ultimate activates on all of these elements. So if Qiyana you know, hits anyone in this area, they're stunned, which is really nice because most people, what they do is they try to always aim for the wall, which in some situations is not really possible. You know, aiming for the wall is easier when you're fighting in corridors like this, but when you're in the river, sometimes it's kind of hard. Like, you're just in a really weird and awkward position and you can't really aim for the wall. And it's totally fine to just normally aim for the river just to get the stun off. It still does the % damage, which is nice, and it still does whatever, you know, it still stuns them. You don't really need to hit them against the wall. And, you know, that's pretty much it. So you can just start your combo, E, W, Q, E, like that. And you can get creative with it. You don't always see, these are just some basic combos, but you don't always have to start off with your E. You know, there's a quicker combo where you E, W, E, like that. We try that again, that's kind of quick. So you start off with Q, W, animation cancel with your E, and then Q like that. So if you do it quicker, oh whoops, let me try that again. So you can do it quicker, like that. The only downside to this combo is the fact that you have to land your first Q, and you don't have your automatic tracking of your E to land it. So generally do this combo when you know they don't have any escapes, or they can't really dodge your first Q. because it is a faster combo than your typical EQ W Q combo. So yeah, this has been a basic combo guide. I know it hasn't been really official. It's just I've sort of figured I'd get this out there as fast as possible. Thanks for watching.